Good evening. Well, really, good evening. I just say that. It gets dark a lot earlier up here. I want to begin this a little off subject. I want to talk to you guys about how can I say it to you? This new era we're living in. We had another mass shooting this morning. Another mass shooting. There was a couple of guys shot up a bodega. Shot like 5 people, I think, and they were just shooting out the windows and stuff. And I think an officer died. And I wanted to say to you guys that it probably sounds weird. I'm sure it sounds weird. The last few years, I have somewhat of a begrudging, a halting respect for law enforcement. And that probably sounds weird as a socialist to hear me say that. Probably sounds weird as heck to hear me say that. But it's true. It started with when the bombs were in the mail in New York. And I seen Alex Jones just disappears in NYPD. And I'm like, wait a minute. They're doing their jobs, man. That bomb could have... What if that bomb had been live? What if it had been real? You know, what if it had been chemical weapons? We don't know. They didn't know. How often do you see bombs in the mail? I want to be careful talking like that, even out here in this life. I have respect for NYPD in that. And the fact that they did that and they took precautions to protect the safety of everybody else. And I realize now that that's what conservatives do. They really, what their tactic is to pretty much ignore anything that's done like that, just to focus on the inner city and blacks and poor people killing each other, because that's what you would do if, you know, that's the story you want to portray. I made a statement before that we're at war. We're at war. And this is what people at war do. This is, how can I say it? This is what you would do. You want to ignore reality. You want to just pretty much just basically ignore reality. You know, you had a president that pretty much said that he thinks Klansmen and Nazis are in the same spectrum as people who are protesting the display of Confederate statues and Confederate flags. These are people who openly went to war to maintain the practice of slavery. And you're putting those people that protest that with Nazis. And I said it before, that's because Trump doesn't see it like they're bad people. He doesn't. He only sees it when they commit crimes. Like the thing years ago when they dragged that black man behind the pickup truck, Trump would probably agree that's wrong. He would agree because that was a crime. They murdered somebody. That's wrong. I've said it before. You could take me to a soup kitchen in Manhattan or Brooklyn, or it's the poorest spot in the country, and you could have Klansmen handing out bowls of soup. They're still Klansmen. They could be wearing soup. They're still Klansmen. They're still an extra threat, and I wouldn't see them any differently. But this shooting in Jersey just was a reminder of the. See, it's one thing for the Godfather to say we're going to war. It's quite another to be one of his button men who had to pick up that Tommy gun, throw on the bulletproof vest, put on the hat, and walk out that door. These cops are the ones rushing to these mass shootings and these bombings. And I just realized it's not going to end. If Trump is impeached, I think it's going to get worse. I think they're going to have a whole lot of mass shootings. I don't believe this crap about they're going to take the country over. I just believe it's going to be a massive violence all at the same time. You know, it's just they're just going back to what their ancestors were and did, just terrorism. That's what you... White men are basically saying, look, we can't run how we want to. We see all these blacks and Muslims and all taking over. So we're going to resort to straight violence. And one thing about working up with Samaritan's Purse is just... I've said it before, it bothers me that there's like this ideology that because we're Christians, nothing really matters. that the world's on fire, and because we got these little shoeboxes and stuff, people are coming to Christ, that we don't acknowledge it. We're in a war, and that's where I come from as a black man. Is I know that all that's fine. That very quickly I could go out here and a white person can confront me over something very simple. I know that. I live with that reality, and I'm entrenched. I'm ready. I stay, and I wonder if white people realize that do that. They confront black people. That, like the guy in Waffle House that was using that racial shit and got shot. You don't realize how close you are to death confronting these people. And then you had the lady, I think in New York or whatever, that said she was threatened. You're threatened, so you come out your apartment to confront this black man. What you know what gets me is when they had 9/11, when they had 9/11, I'm talking about the Muslims and talking about America strong and power, pride, the colors don't run and all this. And seeing black people confronted, is I realized that was all a lie. That was all a lie. They just shifted racism away for a little bit. It was all a lie. We would never accept it. Black people would never accept it. You would never accept it. Never. Never happened. We were sold a bill of goods with Obama. Some of us took it. Some of us didn't. I took it for a minute. I ain't gonna lie. But I just realized that now with all this, is I can't sit up here. These crackers up here, they're not funny. They tell jokes I can't even understand. And not intellectual. Like this lady said something about her husband said, I choose life. And everybody started laughing. I'm like, there's nothing funny about it. They talk about I Love Lucy and Bonanza and Gunsmoke and all this cracker bullshit that means nothing. That's not my history. And that's not the reality I'm living. It's like working at a nursing home, kind of like coming here. It's like working at a nursing home. And what I mean by that is, we're living on this mountain. We don't care about the rest of the world. The rest of us crumbling. You know what? And those kind of people are the ones who support Franklin Graham's call, talking about America's decision and talking about civil war. Those are the kind of people. They have no context in reality. They don't know any black or brown people. They don't know any Hispanics. They don't know anybody. There's somebody they see once in a while. So they think the world's going fine. What's the big deal? Those are the kind of people. I realize coming up here was an education. And it's also a reminder of where I stand as a black man. Like I said, these people are not funny. Their food is bland. I mean, I'm not, hey, it's food. I'm not going to knock it, but it's just, these are bland people, man. These are cave people up here. Like I said, they're not funny. Their talks this stuff is not intellectual. They're not, it's boring. Really, boy, I told Greg we might be the only two black men in Boone. I'm offended, so I gotta crank the trailer up. I'll get back to y'all. Peace.